Okay, so just left my friend's house. Hung out there for a little bit. The wife was at the store, so hung out long enough to chat with her for a little bit before I left. They were making dinner. They always invite me over. They called me last night and invited me over for dinner, and I don't like to eat this late. It gets my metabolism going, and I won't sleep if I eat late. So, but I had a couple of apples before I came on this ride. But yeah, it's as you can tell, it's a little dusky. Temperature has fallen significantly. Somebody's running a wood fire. So whether that's a fireplace or a wood burning thing, that's a wood burning fire pit or something, I don't know. But I can smell the wood. So yeah, I said on the previous video, sorry, I still got my sunglasses and I'm wearing them just to keep the air out of my eyes. But it also is making everything very dark right now. So yeah, I tried to take the sunglasses off and thought about hanging them from my shirt or something just to until I get back, because it's only going to be a couple of miles. Woo, yep, that's chilly. Definitely feel it. Woo. Now today was pushing 70 degrees, but there's not a cloud in the sky, kind of like what you're seeing now. So didn't really feel like 70. It felt much warmer, but you can definitely feel the cold air now. And it's supposed to, last night it got down to about freezing. Tonight it's supposed to get down to at least in the 30s. But yeah, so earlier today I went and test drove a vehicle. It's a little older than I was looking for, but it hit all the marks. And, specifically the price was really good. It's a GMC Yukon Denali. So it has all the bells and whistles. And the guy let me have it for a few hours. Because I asked him, before I even went and test drove it, I was like, oop, on your left. I'm going to bump up that pedal assist so I can go a little faster. Because I'm chilly, Bo Billy. But I asked him before I even went and test drove it. I called him up and I said, hey, do you mind if I run it by a mechanic? He goes, no, absolutely. Go do what you got to do. You can have it. We close at 6:30. You can have it until 6:30. So, don't pick it up any later than 2:30 or 3, so you have time to come back. I was like, oh, okay. So I went there at about 11:30, picked it up, took it to my mechanic, put it up on the lift, got under it, poked around, made sure everything worked, made sure there were no dents or bends in the frame, made sure everything in the engine looked right. And yeah, it seems to be in really good shape, minus some cosmetic issues, because GM either uses a terrible primer or a terrible paint, but they're 2000s vehicles. The paint always peels. The clear coat peels and then the paint peels. So yeah, and it had the vehicle, I pulled the Carfax report. The vehicle was was originally sold in Wisconsin, and then it was in Illinois for a little bit. So it was in Wisconsin for a few years, and it was in Illinois for a few years before it ended up in Colorado Springs. Oh, what's up, puppy? How you doing? Oh, excuse me. So yeah, it's got a little bit of light rust on the bottom of the door panel And some like the tow hooks and things like that have a little bit more rust than you would expect to see here in Colorado or Arizona or something, because it's just so dry here. Nothing really rusts. So, but it doesn't look like any of the rust would be difficult to fix, you know, with some something to scrape the rust off with, you know, some Bondo, sanding, painting, etc. You know, a couple of days maybe of just, you know, getting it before it gets worse type stuff. And it did have a couple of mechanical issues. The biggest one being that it one of the engine mounts had broken or something. So if you hit the gas too hard, because it is a very powerful engine, if you hit the gas too hard, you can actually feel it yank the entire vehicle. And then there's, you know, basic stuff like a rack and pinion need to be replaced, a couple of, like an oil leak, probably a gasket. Not a severe leak, but, you know, one to let you know it's there. Stuff like that, little things. And he's like, yeah, you know, for what it is, it's actually in really good shape for the price. It's actually a really good deal. I mean, according to cars.com, the price is only a few $100s less than what they would expect people to pay. So I took it back. Well, the mechanic and I were on a test drive. You know, I was like, do you want to drive it? Kind of put it through the paces, see if there's anything that you notice. That's when we noticed the thing was, the engine bracket was broken, or the engine mount. Woo! Up at the top of that hill, it was actually kind of warm. Down here, it is freezing. Oh yeah, definitely feel it. But you know, we persevere. Because I'm in a t-shirt and sweatpants. That's it. Got some gym shoes on. So everything I have, aside from the sweatpants, is very breathable. So my face, my arms, everything's exposed. And I definitely feel the cold. But yeah, so he was putting it through the paces, you know, slamming on the gas, seeing if it, you know, there's any hesitation or noises from the transmission or anything. That kind of thing. And he's like, oh, we have to pull over. I was like, oh, I didn't hear anything. Did you notice anything while you were driving? He goes, nope, just a cop behind us. Sure enough, cop behind us. Apparently the dealership that I went to, and it wasn't a manufacturer's dealership. It wasn't, you know, Nissan, Chevy, Ford, pardon me, any of that. It was, you know, one of those little independent lots, like Bob's Used Cars. And the guy gave me the keys, but he didn't put a temporary tag on it, and that's what got us pulled over. Which, okay. And then I was actually surprised that he didn't even like take and copy my driver's license or anything. He just handed me the keys. He's like, yeah, bring it back. I was like, well, this is where I'm going. So if you don't see me in a couple hours, you know, this is at least where I went. He's like, no, you're fine, dude. And I'm like, seriously? Like, that's a lot of trust. Oh, there's some wild turkeys. Yes, those are turkeys. Yes, they are wild. I actually expected to see coyotes before I saw wild turkeys. Oops. There's some wild turkeys right up there. So yeah. But I got back. I gave him the list of things that the mechanic found. And the mechanic said, yeah, the big one's going to be that engine mount, because the way you have to mount it, it's going to cost probably $1,500, maybe a little bit more if there's problems getting the stuff apart. Most of it's man hours. I was like, okay. So I went back and I told the guy, I said, these are the big things. This is, oh, you're good. This is what we found these are the big things. These are the ones that are going to cost a lot to fix. And he didn't bat an eyelash. He didn't say, okay, well, we priced it competitively. He didn't say, okay, you know, what do you want to do? He just offered. He goes, what if I fix all those? We have a shop. What if I get that list fixed for you? Would you buy it? And I was like, really? You'd be willing to do that? And he goes, yeah. I said, because some of this, you know, I could probably do if I could just get the parts. Like it had automatic, what do you call it? Step boards or whatever they're called. I forget what they're called. Like the side boards that you use to step into the vehicle. It had automatic ones. And I was like, they weren't working. Which, they're out, so, you know, great. But the motors, neither one of the motors was working. So, did both motors quit? So I got something in my throat. Did both motors quit working? Or did, is there a control module somewhere that stopped working? I don't know. But I could probably buy those motors and replace them. I am not a mechanic by any stretch of the imagination, but I can do basic stuff. I can change the oil, things like that. And some cosmetic stuff, like I said, you know, a little bit of paint chipping here and there, and a little bit of, like my current truck has more rust on it than this truck does. And actually, it's the rust is the only reason I'm thinking about getting a new vehicle. Because sometimes if it rains hard enough, or if it snows hard enough, it leaks inside my truck. I love my truck. I really wish I could buy the panel and replace the roof panel on it, and, you know, I'd be fine with it. The problem is, my truck is very unique. They only made this model for a handful of years, and that was over 20 years ago, and they don't make that panel anymore. You can't find them. I've even looked at a number of pick-pull lots, thinking, you know, if I can find one, I'll buy it and make it fit. I don't care what color it is. But not even any of the pick-pull lots carry that color. So I went to a body shop. Guy's like, I can't actually fix this. I'd have to cut it out and weld another piece in there. And I can do that, but that's going to cost you a couple of grand. And that was before COVID. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Sorry. I'm not going to spend I had to spend $4,000 18 months ago because my truck, the transmission went out and I needed it to work. I'm not going to spend that kind of money on this truck again. It's 28, 29 years old. So, yeah. So yeah, I liked it. It drove great. Engine was amazing. Didn't have any problems. Most of the stuff could be repaired easily or inexpensively, especially if I dole it out over, you know, do this at this time, do that at that time type thing. So while I wasn't seriously considering it, I was just kind of fantasizing a little bit. Now I'm seriously considering it because I can get it at a decent price. Because the guy said he'd fix the stuff and knock a few $100s off. So even if he knocks $500 off, it's still a good price. The mileage it's not great, but it's not bad. So the vehicle is 17 years old, and it has 175,000 miles on it. So it's not terrible. Now, would I like to find a 17-year-old Chevy SUV or GM SUV that has 60,000 miles on it? Absolutely love to. But yeah. And then there's some stuff just on the inside, normal wear and tear, like, you know, buttons that are worn out. The buttons still work, but the images on there to indicate what they do was worn out, stuff like that. Nothing really to worry about. So yeah, I'm parked in this parking lot. I only have 11 miles for the day, so I'm going to hopefully get a little bit more ride time in tomorrow. But yeah, I got some thinking to do, because I'd like something a little newer, and I'd like something a little bit more comfortable. It didn't have any kind of remote start. Oh, wow. I think cars have me blocked in. It didn't have any kind of remote start or anything. The guy didn't have a key fob, which sucks, because that's one of the reasons I wanted a newer vehicle, is to do the remote start, because in Colorado in the wintertime, I'd like to be able to start it and then walk out the door to it and have it be a little bit warm by the time I get there, rather than having to... yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my bike. I might have to move my truck. I don't think I'm going to get my bike into the truck. People are parked too close. All right, well, that's what I got going on. I'm a little chilly, so I'm going to try and figure out if I can do this or not. And then, yeah, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I only got 12 miles in, so we'll figure out something, maybe get a longer ride in tomorrow. Have a great day.